Welcome to Lydia's land. And today I'm going to be talking about Natalix and spelling. Spelling. Natalix is the sister world of Jericho, and I don't even have a rough map for it. It's still being completely formed, but what it is it's the sister world of Jericho. It exists in a world all on its own. The difference between Natalix and Jericho, which set them apart, is Natalix is a world separate from our own. It can either be entered by you being born there, by you becoming one of the protectors, or by being a dreamer. And there's a reason why those three are important. Whereas Jericho is set in our world, Natalix is not. I'll start at the very beginning of this. Before Jericho was formed, there was a world called Daenerys. Spelling. Daenerys was home to summer elves, winter elves, it's hard to explain them. They're not exactly gods, but people worship them as gods, and they were like different types of people. There was light, darkness, life, death, marriage, love, blah blah blah, and and there was a leader of the gods. The leader of the gods fell in love with a elf, more specifically a summer elf. He learned that Daenerys was going to be destroyed. Death, his brother, was tricked into making it look like his elf and princess had been killed by him, when in fact it was Darkness who did it. So he had to go down there and save her, and then he trapped his brother there. And that's important, and I'll explain why in a little bit. So anyway, he trapped Death down there, and then he learned that the floods were going to be coming. So he started building a world for his elf, where they could escape to once the floods hit and destroyed Daenerys. Darkness, on the other hand, was trying to corrupt people there, merely because he didn't like his brother. He is actually the oldest of the gods, quote unquote. And he thought that he should have been the one to be king, so he was causing mischief against his brother. And it's not because he is Darkness. That's not it at all. It's because he, specifically the man himself, didn't like his brother, so he wanted to cause trouble. The king of the gods is working on this little world called Natalix, where they could be hidden from the humans and yet still grow and thrive. And they would bring as many people as they could over there, leaving behind the corrupted people, basically like Noah. Those guys escape over there. They left behind Death, who was trapped in his little underworld, and Darkness, because he's the one who was corrupting the people and all the corrupted people. Through that, everyone else escaped and goes over there, including all the rest of the gods and goddesses. Darkness ends up surviving the flood. How? I don't know. He took the name Delano, which actually means night. I knew this because Aiden Delano is the fiery knight, and yes, there's a reason why Delano is a person. He met a girl, and they started the race of the Delano. A few of the corrupted elves survived, and they became the Dark Elves in Jericho. Now, moving on to Natalix, is one of the things that the King of the Gods forgot was he forgot that sometimes humans can persevere. So all of them are living in this nice peaceful place. Dragons, elves, you name it, they're there. Griffins. And they end up living there in peace. And then the humans started realizing, hey, I can dream and go into this really cool place. So they started doing that. Alexis Ryu is actually a girl who was born in Natalix through two dragons, Peter Ryu and Sitara Lindome. Sitara is actually from Jericho, and she ended up getting put into Natalix through strange wibbly wobbliness. She ended up falling in love with Peter's twin. His name was, I want to say it was David or something like that. I always blank on names. It's not your fault, it's mine. But anyway, Peter ends up killing his twin because he wants Sitara. Sitara ends up marrying him, and they have twin kids, Alex and Alexis, also known as Frost and Scorch. Right. Alexis is Frost. Alex is Scorch. So yeah, Alejandro and Alexis. Years after that, Sitara ended up pregnant again with her daughter Ivory, who is also Kara. Chara. Sitara ends up back in Natalix after finding out that Peter cheated on her and had another child named Silvaria. Alexis ends up adopting her. As for the gods and goddesses of Daenerys, they eventually had their own children and disappeared from the world. Where they went, I don't know. I'll find out eventually. Those children became known as the Fallen of emotions, the Fallen of so-and-so, the Fallen of love, the Fallen of marriage, the Fallen of whatever. You name it, there's a Fallen for it. One of the Fallen is the Fallen of emotions. The Fallen of emotions is Peter Ryu. Go figure, right? He eventually passes that trait down to his daughter that he accidentally made. He made her accidentally. Her name is Ice or Belana. Natalix is still being formed, but I'm excited for the ride. There's icy tundras, there's a beach, there's all this weird stuff. It's a giant world. It's bigger than Jericho, because Jericho fits in the middle of the Bermuda Triangle. Natalix does not. Natalix is like 7 times the size, if not more. Anyway, stay magical, people. Yeah. I'm Jewish, you can tell, right? Thank you, sweetie Belle. Shut up, sweetie.